Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about a very specific topic. It may or may not relate to you, but I just want to share something about how planning contributed to my anxiety and burnout, specifically using a particular size planner. I'm drinking some sparkling water and I have my planner here, the same planner that we're going to talk about. If you're interested, I got this top from Walmart in Georgia when hubby and I went to Georgia in October. So let's get into it. So the goal of a planner is to lessen anxiety, create routines, and help to organize our day-to-day. So we buy these planners with hopes of getting all of that out of a planner: organization, less stress, pay bills on time, getting our tasks done. And you know, we're hoping that is what we can get from utilizing a planner, along with some work of our own, because the planner doesn't work itself. It's a two-way street. So never would I thought that having a planner can cause anxiety and just lead to overall burnout and lack of motivation for using the planner. So this is my story, and if you are struggling with not wanting to use a planner or feeling intimidated by it, listen to some of these. Listen to exactly how I got into that situation, and maybe it applies to you, but I hope there's some good lessons in this that you can take to help you in your situation. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I had two people 2 weeks ago message me on Instagram saying that they had planners, they don't really use it, they feel intimidated by it, and it was different factors for each individual, but one common thing I got from it was the planner causing anxiety and the overall using of the planner. So one thing, when we have planners, we like to just romanticize our plans, which is really a bad thing to do. We have in our heads everything that we want to do, we have all our plans, and when it comes to actually doing them, we don't do it. We want to put the plans on paper, but we don't do it. So we have to get over that hurdle of understanding that the planner doesn't work unless you do the work. The planner is there to guide you, but you also have to put in that work. So for my situation, this intimidation of using the planner occurred after me feeling anxious when using it, and then eventually leading into burnout. So for a long time, I used my large ring agenda as my main planner, and I used it religiously. Then I got to a point where I didn't want to use it anymore because I didn't like how the pages look. So for me, not liking the pages was basically some of the days I didn't have much planned. I had a lot of blank pages. I had days where I didn't plan, and that, me seeing the blank page, contributed to me feeling that I wasn't accomplishing anything. So in my mind, in order to be productive, to feel that sense of accomplishment, like I did something good, it had to be on paper, and I had to document it, check it off, do it. I needed that visual representation of my task and what I was doing in order for me to feel that I accomplished something. So once I was not using the planner as much as I used to, maybe like on a day-to-day basis, I slowly became unmotivated. I didn't want to use it anymore because there was nothing in the planner to look at to give me that boost of motivation. So the blank pages in my planner made me feel less productive, you know. So this is why nowadays I really like the idea of undated, because if there's a day where I don't have any plans, I don't have a blank page, that day is just skipped. Snoopy, come here. Here, boy. That day is just skipped versus being blank. And for me, not seeing that blank page doesn't affect me. So what was happening to me was whenever I had these blank pages, I didn't have any drive to continue using it because I felt like there was no plans here. So I'm not really planning. So I don't want to use it. It was kind of like I felt a lack of accomplishment. I wasn't motivated anymore because in my mind, in order for me to feel motivated and to do things, I had to live up to, you know, what being busy is like. I wasn't busy on paper, so I didn't want to use the planner because I would have a big page. You know, the GM is a really large page, any large planner, especially if you're using daily inserts. And I would write down, even if it's just 2 meetings and 2 things on my to-do list that I really had to do and I didn't do them, I would write them down, and then I would not feel like I accomplished anything because there was too much blank page left on the paper. So that gave me so much anxiety to a point where I would just write everything down that I had to do. It doesn't matter how tiny it is. Write it down to check it off, and also think of other tasks that I could do throughout the day. So in addition to the tasks that I had to do, I would look for other things to do just to write it down and cross it off. So basically, I'm giving myself more work. So that giving myself more work led to burnout. And when you're feeling burnt out because you have a lot of stuff to do, it's one of the most unmotivating feeling ever, because I wasn't motivated to do anything anymore because I was just so burnt out. And I just felt like this planner was just giving me more and more work to do when in reality, I was doing it to myself. So in my mind, I associated having a full page of to-dos, notes, and things like that with being productive. That was my sense of worth. You know, busy is better. You know, this whole grind and busy life and all this stuff really took a toll on me. And I struggled for a long time trying to understand why I was getting anxious when I wrote things down and saw all that blank paper. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I started using, I think one time I used a notepad for a week, and even though I didn't have a lot going on, it was just my regular mommy stuff, work and all those things, and it kind of made me realize how satisfying it was that that one small paper was filled up with my day. That's when I made the connection, because when I started back to use this planner, I realized that I am doing this to myself. I don't like the amount of blank page that's left over. So this is when I started to look for different planners and smaller options, because I didn't have enough to justify such a big paper, and it was doing more harm than good. You know, when I see other people using their planners and, you know, it's all filled in, you're like, oh, you know, you're so productive, you're doing everything that you have to do, but we don't really know what costs that productivity has. Because for me, yes, I was productive by doing things that I had to do, but it was things that I didn't have to do. It was things that I made up for myself to do that could have gotten done another day. It's just looking for more work just to fill out a planner and have that aesthetic. So with that said, that's how me using a planner led to having anxiety about using a planner, which it's supposed to help you to not feel anxious, for you to have your plans all, you know, thought out, planned, do your plans, and to be organized. And I took this as, if this planner isn't filled up on a day-to-day basis, I'm not really busy, I'm not productive. And that was such a roller coaster of a time frame for me, just trying other options. And I understand now, you know, when I talk a lot about picking a planner that's right for you, the size really does matter, you know, pun intended. And we have to pick a planner that's best for us and our lifestyle and the amount of things we want to track. There are a lot of people who I come to realize have that problem where they don't like blank page in their planner. And if you're that person, let me know. What about a blank page scares you? I don't like seeing a blank page. This is why I love using the Stylogy notebook, because it's undated and then I can just write whatever I feel like writing. I don't have to look back and see blank pages. It just makes me think so much more into it. Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. I know there's nothing wrong, but for me personally, I cannot have the blank pages in my planner, because then I start to think all these silly and stupid reasons. It's just nonsense. You know, this is just what I did to myself for a very long time, and justified needing a certain size planner because I needed to have all the space. And then when I didn't have the plans for the space, I became anxious because there was a blank page staring at me and I had nothing to write on it. So think about why you don't want to use a planner. You know, I say that using a large size planner does have the ability to do that if you feel that your plans are not filling up the inserts, whether it's daily, weekly. Come here, baby. And also, if you're using a dated planner where you're skipping a lot of days, and you don't like to see the blank days in between, maybe switch to undated insert. I know I'm not the only one that had this struggle, maybe not the exact same struggle, but some variation as to that feeling of not being accomplished if your planner page is not filled up. So this is why now, like where I am, I look for more of portability. I know even though I do have a semi-busy life, I can fit my semi-busy life into a smaller planner because I like the smaller inserts and I can write a couple things. It's not a whole lot of page left over, and I'm okay with that. So I don't want to fall down that rabbit hole again. If I ever decide to use this planner, I will have to maybe do like a week on one page. This way I have less writing space, but definitely not daily in something like this. This is just way too big, and I don't want to repeat what happened. Here, boy, come here, baby. So I think that's Snoopy's cue to wrap this up. So this is my little story about how using a larger size planner led to me feeling anxious about using the planner, and ultimately the burnout from giving myself a lot of work to do just to justify the planner, you know. So it's just weird. So if you relate to this, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk today. I will see you next time.